Hey guys, I'm Rachel Castile and welcome to Typology Corner. Today I'm doing an overview video on the INTP personality type, and I will be covering it from the perspective of objective personality. So I will cover the standard type and the jumper type of our INTPs. So their cognitive functions are introverted thinking, extroverted intuition, introverted sensing, and extroverted feeling. And I'm going to just briefly show you what that looks like with the two types. So here's our standard version and then our jumper version. So the saviors of the standard is the TI and the NE. And then the saviors of our jumper is TI and SI. So just starting out, the INTP is a dominant decider type. They are most in touch with the self, their own identity, their own understandings, their own logic, reasoning, that personal analytical process of coming to a conclusion that works for them. What are the reasons that they identify with that is like their own truths? At the end of the day, that's what they are processing most dominantly in themselves. This is an introverted process to start with. So, yeah, they are independent thinkers wanting to sort out what makes sense to them and to live true to that, to live by it. This comes most natural to them to be in touch with where they fall on an issue, their own personal understanding, their own logic tower, building mental frameworks for the world around them, the things that make sense to them most dominantly. So in our standard type, this is paired with extroverted intuition as a secondary process. And extroverted intuition is very creative in them, that they are thinking outside of the box, seeing connections between things very naturally. They're thinking of brand new ideas, things to implement, things to do, different ways of seeing things, connecting very abstract, seemingly unrelated things together very naturally, just happening. And it can kind of cause them to philosophize on lots of different topics and see solutions for all sorts of problems. Lots of avenues one could take to solve said problems. Yeah, they are really analytical and creative mixed together. That comes very naturally to an INTP. And the third process is introverted sensing, which is more past oriented, the things that they've gone through. It's also body related, being like in touch with the body and your health. And yeah, it can be kind of like a nostalgic sort of process in the INTP, like valuing things from their past, valuing objects that they've received in their past that reminds them of someone, kind of collecting or holding on to things that have a bit of a significant association to the items or objects in their life. That can kind of manifest in the INTP of holding on to relics and things like that. And the inferior process, extroverted feeling, is what probably comes the least natural to them to be in touch with. They are kind of out of touch with the extroverted spectrum of feeling values in the people around them, what other people are valuing. Yeah, how society views things apart from their own understandings and stuff. Like, yeah, they are very individualistic in their own thinking and are tracking that more often than other people. And let's see how to describe that. This is their growth path, is to actually get more in touch with this, to check in with people around them more, and to kind of get the feedback in their life from people around them on the things that they're thinking about, on their, personal, like understandings and truths that they've come to, as they're building things, to kind of share that with people and allowing feedback into their life to kind of incorporate that extroverted feeling at the bottom. So I'll cover that more in this video, but that's just kind of a picture of the function starting out. And just to look at it, that's somewhat of the standard version sort of overview. In our jumper, the awareness of the introverted sensing is just a lot higher, of them being like more reliant on those sort of like criteria of their past, their memories, the things that they've walked through already, the things that, hold sentimental value to them, is guiding them more so than being out and gathering. Introverted sensing is more of an organizing function. So it is making sense of past experiences, and sorting it however they deem to, and then living in accordance to it. This type is more introverted, more dependent on their inner world to make a decision, and to, that form of information from the past, their own things that they've walked through themselves. This is a more introverted dependent type. So something to kind of contrast between the two, the INTP standard type is more of a gatherer. They're going to go out and explore new ideas often. They're going to, kind of see that the answers in life lies in going out and exploring. This type is more extroverted. They have a balance in a sense between introversion and extroversion, that they're going out and kind of trying out the ideas that pop up in their life. They're expressing those ideas and letting those ideas kind of take them to whatever place they could go. This is, again, a lot of creativity here. And just they're problem solvers in a, I guess, as a core way to kind of describe TI, going with that NE. And they can see various solutions and exploring that. Just the connections that they can make are very abstract, and this is kind of what they bring to the world, sharing this freely, and offering solutions to people around them, or just exploring it in the way that they live their own life, and how they carry out their own personal thinking. They, will approach the world through these abstract connections. And our standard type is a little more out of touch with the introverted sensing. So this being more of a gathering type, they're not as inclined to rely on the introverted sensing like past to guide their life. It's there, but it's not as pronounced in their life. They're not as introverted as our jumper type. The exploration keeps them expanding beyond their current life experience. And and then in contrast, our jumper type is more defined by it. They are not as adventurous. They're not stepping out beyond what they already know as much. They're referencing what they've been through. They're living in accordance to it more comfortably. And it's somewhat causing them to not explore, to not look at new ways of seeing things. They're seeing what life has shown them, and are building their understanding around it. That's the observer process that is informing the decider, which is the introverted thinking. And as you look at these functions, they are serving the TI primarily. TI is the dominant process. So these observers are bringing in information for the TI to come to conclusions. The TI in them, it's a static process. I'll talk more about the TI for a bit. Like, It's a static thing that's being built, that's not moving. It is their beliefs, it is their truths, it's their understandings, it's their point of view. It's the judgments that they've made, and this is a stagnant function. Like, if it, by stagnant, like, it's rigid in a sense that it has to be deconstructed in order to be something new. So, and how it evolves is through the observer processes. So it's the extroverted intuition and the introverted sensing. So, as a dominant decider type like this, they do have the gift of double observation. They can see the extroverted intuition and organize the past things that they've been through, the concrete things that they've walked through, organizing the facts, and also the array of possibilities, the ability to brainstorm, and from that brainstorming be able to adjust or shift their thinking. But it comes through the observation. But decisions comes first in our IP types, our IPs and our EJs actually, but these are introverted decider types. So yeah, our INTP is exploring the kind of the brilliance of the possibilities, while also having this nostalgic element of appreciating things from the past, retaining items from the past, wanting to relive things from their past, keeping things around them that reminds them of positive things from their past. Yeah, that this is something that comes natural to them to be kind of exploring both, but then looking at which type, if it's standard or jumper, is just to see which one is relied upon more. Is the possibilities always intriguing, and there's always another way to look at something, and that will always get them kind of moving in a sense? Like, that's what's brought up in order to make life choices or to advance in life. If you have the inclination to go out and gather, I need to explore all the tangents of the ideas, of the other perspectives, the possibilities of something. That is leaning toward being a standard INTP type. And our jumper is more reliant on the past, more reliant on the things that life has taught them personally. So looking within the realm of introverted sensing, it's looking at the scope of personal experience alone. It's not entertaining the other perspectives, the other ways of seeing things, the other ideas around something that is outside of the self. Extroverted intuition is outside of the self, in interacting with the world around you and seeing what arises, seeing what shows up, seeing, what connections can be made between things that you're experiencing in the now. Extroverted intuition keeps this type more open and more explorative around them. It connects them beyond their own experience. So yeah, that's a bit of a difference. And then I'll get into the growth paths of both. They have opposite growth paths based on what they've majored in. Let's see. I do want to explore somewhat of the giftings a bit by choosing one or the other. So yeah, having TI and NE, you have a major creative function that can brainstorm for other people, for companies, or in solving a problem. This type is going to bring new ways of seeing things to a group, or just their own life. They'll just be way more, I don't know if the right word is ingenuity, but like it's, yeah, it's out of the box thinking being relied upon to move forward. And yeah, this type will really have access to this and will bring that to the world more easily. Our jumper type is going to really zero in on life experience and extracting the truth that lies within it. in building TI, it will come out of what they've lived, what they've been through, what life has taught them. It can really honor the things taught from the past. And as they're refining their TI, their personal frameworks about life, their personal philosophies and principles will be extracted from the things that they've been through. So, in being in that internal world of kind of mulling over what life has taught them and refining their thinking around that, this is just, they're going to kind of ever be extracting more and more. And I guess the word is refining. Yeah, just refining that from that point of view. That will come very naturally to them to kind of dig into what life has been and kind of extracting everything that can be taken out of the past and understood from the past. This type is making sense of it, wanting to interpret their life experiences to the best that they can. They will spend much time doing so. Therefore, that side of them will be very refined. And that poses a different growth path because this type will not be branching out beyond their own memories, the things that, they've gotten used to doing. It could be like a career that they've done. It's familiar and they just get better and better and better at it. And their memory is really good. They're more in touch with being memory reliant in a sense. So this type could really be good with numbers and accounting or something like that and avoid something new and just become really good at what they already are used to doing and just kind of mastering the known, refining the known, organizing the known more and more, organizing the experiences and systemizing their life based on it. TI, you can think about it like that. It is their personal systems. It's their personal ways of doing things. Their chosen, almost call it path, but it's their chosen way more so. Their chosen process. Especially combining TI with SI. SI is very like order of operation kind of oriented. So it's like it becomes even more like their way of doing things, that life has shown them that this works for me. So yeah, they become more and more refined. And growth for our jumper is to branch out, explore new ideas, explore new ways of seeing things, letting new possibilities arise and entertaining them, letting that type of information that's gathered in from the outside world, not what they've already been through, but something that is totally new, and allowing that to come in and inform the TI. That's very a healthy path for our jumper type to get out there in the world, to spend more time exploring their creativity, expressing their creativity, sharing it, giving it to the world, allowing that brainstorming to have a place in their life more. And in our standard type up here, they're already seriously letting that be a guiding point in their life. So growth for them is to actually honor their past a bit more, to work on their memory and in a sense of valuing the things that they've been through a bit more, and kind of extracting what life has taught them already from the things that they've already walked through, and to kind of bring order to their inner world, to introvert a bit more, to kind of make sense of their past experiences and allow that to inform their introverted thinking as well. Again, what your savior function is going to be your savior functions. It's just growth is to incorporate the demon processes too, and just have more of a life balance in that. But yeah, one thing I could say about SI is about routine as well, like having life routines, being habitual about certain things, finding good routines for your health, or just how you get stuff done in your day. Routines is a positive thing for our standard type to get in touch with, taking care of their body more, being just cognizant to have life routines that does manage that area of their life a bit better. Um, just to be more in touch with the body. Um, and Yeah, that's just another aspect of SI. SI is kind of the habits, the routines of their life. And yeah, that's a positive growth path. I would imagine the jumper type is, you know, kind of locked into their routines already because it's the habitual, it's referencing the past. They're more traditional in the sense of maintaining what life has taught them. And but yeah, in general, the INTP can grow from positive routines in their life. um and I still kind of attribute that more to the standard type, that would be growth for them, considering the jumper type is probably already majoring in that area. So all right, so like the common growth, biggest growth path for both of these types is the FE. And FE is tribe. FE is the outside world. FE is the people around them. It's the emotions, the values of the people around them. Think of it as awareness of it, being in tune with the other people, letting yourself observe that and dialogue with people, and to honor that, to create conversations around it. It's like creating community and giving community voice in your life, in a sense, that you're able to be a part of the collective a bit more consciously. It's easy for the INTP to kind of lose touch with factoring in the collective in their pursuit to come to personal truths, and know where they stand, or being focused on the development of their own projects, their own understandings, their own goals, to notice themselves in the collective and to give space for the collective to speak what they value about what you're doing, in a sense. Keeping that dialogue between others and the self. INTPs are in touch with the self to begin with, so it's just, this is that big leap for them, to let people into what they're doing and to allow people to speak into it, that they're processing feedback regularly, that they don't come to a place in life where they are surprised by the tribe's take on them, or experience of them, experience of their thinking, of their logic. The more they can share their thinking, share their understandings, while also having a dialogue and allowing people, the other voices, to be spoken in the midst of their own kind of Jenga tower that they've built, just the more balanced they will be in general. That's very positive growth for high TI types to get in touch with FE. So what else can I say about FE? Oh, I do like to say this, and it's true for FE types. It is also positive for INTPs to find a place to express their emotions, to express that side of themselves, to have an outlet, whether it's a friend, a spouse, a therapist of some sort, a place where they are able to emote and share that, because this is a very logical, analytical type who, might not naturally be sharing their emotions, but they are a very emotional type. It's just, it can be suppressed really easily to be kind of out of touch. And extroverted feelers genuinely benefit from getting to verbally process, and sometimes even knowing what their emotions are comes from processing it out loud. This is not an introverted feeling type who will just do that in of themselves privately. Um, yeah, this is actually a deeply caring type. They do really care for other people, ISTPs as well. They have big hearts, but it can be kind of a vulnerable experience to share that, to go there. But it's also where some of the greatest growth lies. And this type is extroverted feeling related. So, um, what else can I say? What other advice? INTPs, you're awesome. You have a childlikeness about you that's really beautiful. Um, it's it's like the Effie that you do have. It has an innocence about it that is very pure and um, valuable when shared. Um, of course, your dominant giftings of introverted thinking, being able to really logic things out very deeply, is really incredible. And your creativity, your extroverted intuition, definitely share that. Not many people think the way you think, have this gift of seeing so many different perspectives and connections between things that combined with that memory of SI to be able to recall so many different things in the midst of all of the abstractions. Um, Incredible philosophers is in this type. Just the way you're processing life is very interesting. Um, yeah. So, as an introverted type, as you're assimilating and coming to your own conclusion, share it. And when you share it, you're going to get feedback, and that can be a little daunting, but allow yourself, and you'll continue to be refined and develop and grow as a holistic person. Um, as you add value to society, y'all do kind of operate a bit in a bubble of your own mind, but the more you share that, the more it's not disconnected from society. You're informed by society, and it'll refine and um, give you new things to analyze and make sense of and come to deeper truths about. So, um, community is a very good thing for you at your own pace, as as you see fit. But yeah, awesome. If you got value out of this, go and give me a thumbs up. I appreciate the feedback myself and knowing that the video made an impact on you. And subscribe for future content. I'm really glad to have you here on the channel. If you'd like personal coaching or help to determine your personality type, you can book a session at typologycorner.com. The link is in the description. If you want clarity on these cognitive functions and just want to understand them in a greater way individually, you can go to the channel, go to the playlist section, and I have a playlist on all of the cognitive functions. And there you can kind of get a deeper dive into each one of these processes to understand your type a bit more. And yeah, I think that's about it. Again, thank you for watching. Really glad to have you on the channel. I hope this has been of value to you. And yeah, I will see y'all on the next video. Have a good one.